Do you know how many benefits, interactions between animals and humans there can be? Think of the ways that you've seen humans interacting with animals or animals interacting with humans, but have you ever seen animals assisting humans? Most of us probably get an image of a seeing eye dog, but did you know that animals can assist people in other ways as well? Animals can be our beloved pets who provide companionship, specially trained service animals who provide assistance, or emotional support animals who provide therapy to humans with varying degrees of disabilities. I've done research on the subject and have been a pet owner my entire life. I've spent several hours training my own animals in obedience and specialized tasks since I was about 10 years old. I'm not a certified trainer, but it is a passion of mine, and I've watched several service animals in action, and I would be lost without my own companion. All of us live in a world shared with animals, and if any one of you cares for an animal or knows someone who does, then your life's also affected by an animal. I would like to share with you the different classifications of animals in regards to service, how they're trained, and information about traveling with your companion. So you ask, what exactly is the difference between a pet, a service animal, and an emotional support animal? Pets are classified by Merriam-Webster's dictionary as a domesticated animal kept for pleasure rather than utility. And according to the Americans with Disability Act of 1990, a service animal is any dog that is individually trained to do work or perform tasks for the benefit of an individual with a disability, including a psychological, sensory, psychiatric, intellectual, or mental disability. The ADA also classifies emotional support animals as more specifically chosen companions to individuals who are psychologically or emotionally disabled. These companions may include a variety of animals and may also be a current pet. The training required for a service animal is much more extensive than it is for an emotional support animal. Service animals undergo rigorous training and upbringing to ensure that they withstand the demands placed upon them through their service. Service animals are trained to do work and perform tasks for people with disabilities. These tasks can include things like picking up objects, opening doors, calming a person with post-traumatic stress disorder, or alerting a person who's having a seizure. According ADI, it takes approximately 120 hours for basic training for a service dog. Most specialized and well-trained dogs will actually spend about 180 to 360 hours in training, which amounts to about 1 or 2 hours every single day for at least 6 months. An emotional support animal is typically a dog or a cat, though it can include other species such as a ferret or a bird. People who may benefit from an ESA are ones who are diagnosed with depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, or battered women syndrome. Emotional support animals are not specifically trained to perform tasks. They provide therapeutic benefits to their owners primarily through companionship, and may not recognize particular signs or symptoms, but may be distinguished by the close emotional and supportive bond between the animal and the owner. If you have an emotional support animal, you should be aware of the places you can take your animal and how safely you can travel with your companion. Service animals are much more widely recognized and allowed in more places than emotional support animals. However, multiple laws are applicable to ESAs and their owners, including the American with Disabilities Act and the Air Carrier Access Act and the Fair Housing Act. The ADA provides specific guidelines on how organizations and businesses should treat individuals with ESAs, and those guidelines are applied in all 50 states. Air Carrier Access Act works along with the Department of Transportation to prohibit discrimination of disabled individuals traveling by air, and it states that airlines are not allowed to refuse transportation, limit, or require advance notices before offering service to individuals who are disabled. Fair Housing Act requires apartments and housing communities that ordinarily restrict pets to make reasonable accommodations for ESAs. The ESA owner must have a diagnosed disability and provide documentation to the property owner in order to be protected under the FHA law. Property owners may not question the disability, require the animal to wear identification, or refuse housing. They are also not allowed to charge an advanced security deposit because these are considered support animals and not classified as pets. Nobody should be treated unfairly by a housing organization, property owner, or an airline based on his or her rights under the American with Disabilities Act. Sometimes a person's disability may not be as plain or noticeable to an outsider, but that doesn't mean that they aren't protected under the same laws regarding service and support animals that those with evident disabilities are. I hope you're able to learn a few new things about the difference between classification and training of pets, service animals, and emotional support animals, along with traveling with designated animals. Remember to approach unfamiliar animals with caution, always ask before touching another person's animal, and never pet a dog while it's working as a trained service animal.